Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Watson Michael from Ceylon Institute of English and Leadership. And once again, we are honored to have Lovell Casiero back with us. She's the author of Lead Like a Girl, a leader's journey from aspirations to achievements. Her professional path is marked by a consistent demonstration of strategic insight and leadership excellence. Born in the southern heartland, she embodies grace, determination, resilience. And as an author, Lovell undertakes the significant task of guiding her readers through a transformative journey of self evaluation and purpose. Welcome back, Lovell. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back. It's been almost a year, a little over a year. So thank you so much.
Uh, yeah, just a little over a year, and it's an honor to have you back, Lovell. So, women empowerment, okay, it has the potential to boost the global economy by trillions of dollars, according to various studies. And women empowerment is a topic that has been discussed for decades, but still there is a long way to go. What do you think about it?
Well, Watson, I think that I don't disagree that there is a long way to go, but I think we've come a long way. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it just depends on what industry you're pointing to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Globally, yes, we have a long way to go, but there are some pockets of growth in certain industries. For example, in the hospitality industry, which I've spent most of my career in hospitality, we are seeing some really strong movement to women in leadership. And when I say leadership, I'm saying they're running the companies, presidents, of hotel brands, presidents of hotel management companies. And I think that one of those reasons is that the hospitality industry really put an emphasis on helping women to grow with the forward movement that they have. That really is an organization that promotes women in hospitality. But I also think that we deal with a cultural mindset in many of our countries. It's not. It's in every country. It's a cultural mindset. And you have another question on here, and I don't want to get ahead of us, but women have the care of the family and care of elders if they have parents that need taken care of. That typically falls on the shoulder of a woman. And so, not to say that men aren't awesome dads and put their time in, but I know that there are times when women are called on for the personal aspects of life. But I think we'll talk about some of that throughout our chat today. But I think we've come a long way, and I think that we just have to continue to be resilient. And it's not about sameness. It's not about trying to be and do exactly like your male counterpart, but showing up, doing you as the amazing woman that you are, and bringing what you have to bear to the circumstances and to the opportunity. And that will achieve the equality that we're all looking for.
Wow, well said. Okay. So now a working mother is like doing two or three jobs, and it's not easy. Also, when you look at ladies getting into college or getting a job or a promotion, they face challenges at times, which is not easy at all. You have a successful career and you had a very successful career in the hospital industry. What is your message for that?
Well, I want to just talk first. I'm going to kind of go to the second part of the question,
Sure.
and share with you that in one of the chapters of my book, I talk about a woman, and her name is Dina Casero. And she just happens to be my niece. So I'm very proud of her. She has had a lot of first as a woman. She was the first woman to be the chief medical officer for the U.S. Tennis Open that happens in New York every year. She was also
Wow.
the first woman to be the medical doctor for Yukon Sports Organization, and then later was promoted within that. I'm going to save the punchline for a minute because I want to back up to earlier in her career when she was applying for a job within a company that she worked for. It was it would have been an internal promotion. And instead of giving her the full job, they wanted to offer her only part of the job. And she asked why they would not, give, and they said, well, we're restructuring because, you may want to start a family one day. So, they gave part of that job to her male counterpart because they thought she might start having children and that would cause her not to be able to apply her skills and her time as effectively. But
Mhm.
today, she is the first chief medical officer for the NCAA. So she
Wow.
did not I wanted to use her as an example to other women who might feel like they've been passed over. I've been passed over in my career. So maybe you feel like you've been passed over, but don't let that keep you from trying again. Because there are people, not just other women, there are men out there. And in every one of these cases, my niece had a fabulous male mentor that helped her reach these achievements that she reached. And so there are people that will help you, and it's genderless, right? So don't give up just because you get passed over or they say no one time. The first part of that, I'm going to take a sip of water
Yeah, sure.
because you know that I had to cancel last week because I had one of those nasty sore throats. So anyway, um, the first part of that is about, being a mom and having a family. And I read a quote recently that said, you can have it all, you just can't have it all at one time. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that because I believe that with the right support system, that you can have it all. I remember taking my daughter to work with me when I was building my career in hospitality, and I was a catering director. And on Saturdays, I would have to be there for events. I would take her into the office with me, and she would play like she was in the office and working in an office. And, sometimes you have to pivot, you have to make sacrifices. What I would say, I also talk about this in my in the book, Lead Like a Girl. You need a really good support system. I call that my personal board of directors. So, and then the other thing, and so you have those people in your life. It's not just someone who's going to advise you in business. But for example, as much as I have traveled lately, I tell people without my husband, I would never have been able to have a plant or a pet because I travel too much to keep either one of them alive. So, you have to have a support system, and it doesn't always have to be family. It can be, sought after by in other ways. The other thing that I will say to those moms out there that are trying to have a big corporate career and have a family organization, you just got to be organized, and stay on top of the organizational part of it. I find that the older I get, the more organized I am, and it actually pays off in a big way. So,
Hmm. That's a good one because they say all is gold. Okay, right. So, what advice do you have for women who want to work in a male-dominated field?
go for it. Like, as long as you bring your skills to bear, bring your experience to bear. I know I had the pleasure recently of working with uh, a couple of women that come to mind that are on the side of hospitality that you would normally expect a man to fill that role. And one that I will tell you I absolutely love is that the project manager for many of our hotels that were under development and are going under a renovation, the project manager on the construction site was rocking her high heels on those construction sites, and she was the boss, and she was in charge of, the project and making it happen. And she did not leave her femininity at home. She figured out how to look great in a hard hat. And so, if it's something that you desire to do, whether it's being a pilot, or I love when all of a sudden I'm on a plane and the pilot comes over and it's a woman, because that's an industry that has been mostly men for so many years. And now there's a lot of women coming into that field. So I just say, like, go for it. Go for it. If it's something that you want, dream. And my mother always told me, you can do whatever you set your mind to. So if there is an industry and a job that you would like to do, and you have the training and the skills, get out there. Don't let one no keep you from going after it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. That's good motivation. Okay. So your book, Lead Like a Girl, A Leader's Journey from Aspirations to Achievement, is a fantastic example for women empowerment. And this is about authentic leadership. So even men can learn from it, as none of us are perfect. Okay. So what are your views?
So I'm going to just go back to when I started to write the book, I really thought that I was going to write a book about leadership, the technical skills of leadership, if you will. Um, and as I started writing the book and I began to think about my impact as a leader,
Mm.
and you kind of work your way from the backwards, if you will, like, who are the people that I have affected and how do I feel like I have affected them? And one
Mm.
of my moments of realization into the impact that I was having was my first really big promotion, when
Yeah.
I went from a single property to being in charge of 27 hotels with a third
Wow.
party management company in the United States, Crescent Hotels and Resorts. The president, Michael George, gave me my first opportunity to be in an above property role. And I thought, man, I've arrived. This was what I dreamed about doing, was being the vice president, or, the person in charge of a portfolio. And so and when they sent out the press release, I started getting letters, emails, and text, and people calling me and congratulating me and saying, "You helped me so much when I worked with you here, or when I met you at this conference and you spent some time with me." And I thought, wow, Watson, what I was doing
Yeah.
really was impacting people's lives. And I
Mm.
think as a leader, that is the first thing that we have to realize. And a lot of what am I trying to, what is my word that I want to use here? But there's a lot of responsibility that
Mm.
comes with being a leader. So when you become a leader and you come in for the day, you got to leave your
Mm.
baggage at home. We all have baggage. Like, every day is not
Mm.
a day of joy and bliss and peace. Sometimes
Yeah.
you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, as we say, and you don't
Yeah.
start your day very good. But when you walk in that arena of leading others and impacting others' days and their lives and how their workflow will manifest, you got to leave your baggage at home. You got to come in and you got to show up every day strong, ready, and able to lead the team. That's one
True.
thing. Number two, I think that when I started writing the book, I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking that I would just write all the leadership and the work stuff. But I realized that in order to lay the foundation for the work acumen and the leadership success that I had had by the time I sat down to start Lead Like a Girl, was I had to tell life lessons. And
Mm.
so in those life lessons, my vulnerability had to come out because let's face it, we all have the
Mm.
good, the bad, and the ugly in our lives. And
True.
and
True.
and there was a time where I was that person that was like, show me the money, give me the title. And I was leaving people in my wake, like I was leaving people, I wasn't sometimes as understanding and nice, or maybe I was a little too, I have been told I was a little abrasive at times. But
Okay.
I started realizing that you have to show up with humility. You
Mm.
have to just be real with people, not put
Mm.
on a persona that act like someone you're not. And my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
I just posted this yesterday on TikTok, actually. But my
Okay.
grandmother was in her early 80s, and I knew that she wasn't going to be around long. She was going to go
Mm-hmm.
meet her maker, and she was going to leave us
Mm-hmm.
and go to a better place. And I sat down with her and said, Grandmother, what would you tell me? Like, what wisdom would you impart to me as you have had this amazing life where you raised your brothers and sisters when your mother died very young. She was just an
Mm.
amazing woman and a lot of wisdom. And she said, Lovell, just always be yourself. You're not better than anyone, and no one's better than you. So no matter how high I climbed on that ladder, I tried to remember that I'm not better than anyone I'm leading, that we all show up as a person doing our jobs to the best of our ability. And some of us just have more responsibility or a higher
Mm.
level of responsibility. But at the end of the day, we're all the individuals that make up the team. And if one of those individuals are missing or you're not bringing them along, then the team is broken. And so be yourself, be, don't be afraid to show your humility, to be
Mm.
humbled. Um,
True.
you're not better than anyone else, and you're certainly not better than the people who are supporting you and you're leading and helping you to accomplish your goals every day.
Quite insightful, though. Okay. So you started with a entry level position and grew up, okay, holding a top post. Can you tell us a story about a tough challenge you faced and how you overcame it?
Yes, absolutely. So I first of all want to tell you how I got my first promotion. And so my very, very first job in a hotel was in a restaurant. I was the server and hostess, but I had no idea I was working in hospitality because the restaurant was in the parking lot of the hotel. So I didn't associate that to being in the hotel business. However, one of my clients came in one day, one of my customers came in and they said they're building another hotel and they're looking for an admin to work in the office. So I said, oh my gosh, I need to have an office job. That's what I need. I
Mm.
need to get out of serving and hostessing and get work, restaurant work, and I need to go apply for that job. Well, I got the job, and I was the assistant to the director of catering. It's the lowest position in the sales office. It actually is lower than the admin to the director of sales. So,
Okay.
but back in those days, you know, you were still using a typewriter. You didn't have the technology that we have today. About
Mm.
2 weeks in, I was just starting to get the hang of what I was doing, and I came to work one day, and my boss was no longer there. She'd been kind of walked out after one of those midnight meetings, if you will.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure. Sure.
And so I walked into the director of sales and I said, look, Karen, I have no idea what to do, but if you tell me what to do and you tell me what you need, I'll do my best to help you. Well, that led from going to admin in a matter of like 30 to 60 days to actually going
Oh.
into a sales position because she was feeding me stuff to sell, and they gave me a promotion. And I took that title later after a few months there. I moved up north. I took that title, and that was my entree into the hotel industry. And
Mm.
I found an industry that my mother always said, you go to work, you give 110%, not just 100, you give 110%. I found an industry that would reward the 10%. So I always worked a little harder. I always showed up a little earlier. And I always, people that have the that's not my job mentality, they're probably not going to get promoted. But if I saw a
Mm.
need and it wasn't necessarily my job, I would jump in and help, and I would take on that project or whatever, even if it wasn't my job and even if I wasn't getting paid more for it. And I told you earlier, I did get passed over sometime. I didn't always
Mm.
get the next position that I wanted. There were times
Yeah.
that I wanted to move into that regional role or move into that VP role, and I got passed over. But eventually the right opportunity came. And I go right back to um, some of the advice I was giving earlier, and that is don't let one setback define you, because that setback may be setting you up for a comeback. And so and I always believe that I'm very faith-based, and I believe that sometimes God shuts doors because he already knows there's a door down the road that's going to be a better door to walk through, and he's going to open that door. So don't let the denials get you down. Like, just learn from it. I would always recommend that if you have applied for a promotion or a position and you didn't get it, to ask that question, what would you like me to work on? So the next time I'm ready. And I will also tell you from the other side, can you tell I'm so passionate about this, but from the other side, when an internal candidate applies for a position that I am responsible for filling, I always, always interview them. They may be very
Mm.
far from an experience perspective of being able to step into that role, but I interview them and I have a conversation with them in order to establish what they need to work on. And so if someone's listening and they're in a role where they hire people and they have an internal candidate, male, female, doesn't matter, interview that person. They may not be ready, but the interview will be a coaching session to help get them ready. And so, sure, we've all had setbacks. We've all applied for positions we didn't get. I applied for Four Seasons one time and they didn't hire me. But you can't take it personal. You just got to
Yeah.
understand what why they picked a candidate that had different skill sets. And if that's something you truly want, then you have to work to hone those skill sets to get better at the things that they passed you over for. It's a learning moment, right? Everything you go through is a learning moment.
100%. Yeah. So, Lovell, any final message you want to give our viewers and listeners out there?
Well, I would just say that it's interesting times in the workforce today. There's a lot going on, whether it is the the economy, the geopolitical, the culture that we live in today. It's interesting times. It's also interesting for leaders out there and for people that are working in some industries that we are multi-generational in, from everybody from there's probably 5 to almost 6 generations working in the different generations working in the industry today. So if you are a leader and you are leading a team that has a varying generations that you're leading, you can't lead them the same way. It's not a one size fits all. You have to adapt your leadership skills to what is going on in our world today in order to affect and impact people and affect people positively. And then, excuse me, I would just say the one absolute piece of advice that I always give when someone says to me, what's the one piece of leadership advice that you would give me? And I go back to the words of my grandmother, just be you. Everybody else is taken. Show up every day doing you. Because if you're not doing you, they will recognize that. They will feel something that will cause them not to trust you. And people want to follow people they trust. And my closing remark would be, there is one thing every leader needs to be a leader. And without it, you cannot be a leader. And that is someone to follow you. So be very aware of how you treat the people that you lead.
Wise words. Well, thank you very much for taking time and doing this podcast with us.
Watson, you are one of my favorite people. Thank you for keeping in touch on LinkedIn. We spoke a lot about the book. Thank you. I didn't mean to do that, but it just kind of came naturally. And it's on my website. If anyone is interested in getting it, it's at lovellcasiero.com. Easy to get.
Absolutely.
Thank
you
so
Lovell,
much.
and take care.